so the Mars and the Olympus. Just a moment. Alright. Hi everyone. Welcome back for another ASMR session. Whispering facts, let's say. Well, now, how about the red planet or Mars? Well, I just found some intriguing, less known facts about Mars, and I want to share with you. So, stay close and don't close the video. Well, you may know that Mars is a very fascinating planet, but there, besides the best known fact or the known facts, there are lesser known features. And one of them, for example, it's the Olympus Moon. Olympus Moon, Olympus Moon. Well, what's about this Olympus Moon? Well, Olympus Mons, it's the largest volcano in the solar system, the largest volcano yet discovered. It stands over 21.9 kilometers or 69,000 feet high, nearly 3 times the height of Mount Everest, and this is a volcano. Well, some of you know that, but for me it's something new, so this is about Olympus Moon. So when you hear about Olympus Moon, it's the largest volcano in the solar system. Alright, the next fact. It's about Valles Marineris. Well, Valles Marineris, what is it? This one is another record holder. Well, it's not a volcano. It's the largest canyon in the solar system, of course, yet discovered. Well, it stretches over 2.5 thousand miles or 4,000 kilometers in length. So Valles Marineris, it's like a very big and long Grand Canyon, and it's like taking the Grand Canyon and it's multiplying with 10. So this is how long is the Valles Marineris. Valles Marineris. Well, good. Well, you know, Mars is a very actual subject, and one of the coolest facts that I ever found is that it holds frozen water. Frozen water. Where, like Earth, Mars has some polar caps. The polar ice caps on Mars are composed of water and carbon dioxide. And they expand and contract with the changing season. So, yes, there is water on Mars, and that's the first step of providing future support for some life forms. Yeah, right. So that's the goal. Right. Marsquakes. Marsquakes. Well, Mars has quakes as Earth has earthquakes. The seismic activity, which is known as Marsquakes. NASA InSight lander has detected and recorded these kind of seismic activities, providing insights into the planet's interior. And it seems that the Marsquakes are stronger than the earthquakes. Right. Good. Next fact. Well, the next one is related to, just a moment, to tiny moons of Mars. Yes, maybe you know from geography that Mars has two moons. One is Phobos and one is Deimos. They are small moons compared to the Earth moon, but what is the intriguing fact, or the fascinating fact, is that these kind of moons, they are not perfectly round shaped or spherical. They're irregularly shaped, and they are likely captured asteroids or objects from asteroid belt. So the science believe that those moons are in fact some captured asteroids from the asteroids belt. Which are orbiting around Mars. We talk about tiny moons, Marsquake, frozen water, and Valles Marineris or Olympus Mons. But on the red planet there are blue sunsets. Yes, blue sunsets. Sunsets on Mars, where, think about that, sunsets on Mars are appearing somehow blue, while sunrise are more pinkish. Pink. This is due to the Martian atmosphere that scatters the sunlight. We talk about a planet that has an atmosphere without oxygen. So, due to the composition of chemical composition of Martian atmosphere, the sunsets are blue and the sunrises are pink. Well, it must be very interesting to see them. Right. And now the dust storms. Dust storms. Of course, we have dust storms or there are some dust storms on Mars because it's a deserted planet. But instead, like compared to Earth, Mars experiences global dust storms that can envelop the entire planet, causing dramatic changes in its surface and temperatures. Yes. Right. Good. Now, let's switch to page number 2 because I had noted all these on some papers. So, let's take to number 2. Page 2. Well, okay, the next fact is quite interesting. Methane mystery. sparked interest in search for potential microbiological life. Well, that could be an explanation. Microbiological organisms that can produce methane. Good. Very interesting, yes. Well, I believe, but that's my opinion, that maybe there are some sort of life form on Mars, at least some microorganisms. It must be something there. Yes. Thin atmosphere. Well, the thin atmosphere. Compared to Earth, of course, Mars has a thin atmosphere, which is primarily composed of carbon dioxide. It is less than 1% of Earth's atmospheric pressure, making it impossible for humans to breathe without life support systems. So that's one of the reasons that you cannot support life form or human life form on Mars, because of its thin atmosphere. Right. Good. Next. Iron oxide surface. Mars has some ancient rivers, lake beds, and evidence of once more hospitable climate, so indicating that liquid water may have existed in the surface and on the surface in the past. Well, I don't know, but let's believe those facts because I think they are scientific based, most of them. Right. Potential for liquid water. This is another fact, so alright, pay attention. Some regions of Mars, particularly in the southern hemisphere, might have underground pockets of briny water, which raises the possibility of microbiological life forms. Of course, like I said, I believe there is some sort of life form there, but it must be discovered in some way, so we are not prepared, or we are not technological advanced in order to discover the real life forms on Mars, but that's my opinion. Okay, good, so right. Oh, okay, from this chapter, the last fact, it's I don't know, it's a cool and fascinating. It's about the Rover Graveyard. And this is due to the fact or the result of several spacecraft that landed on Mars, and some like the Viking landers and rovers, they remained there on the Martian surface forever. So there is no possibility to recover them. So that's why the entire Martian surface is some sort of big graveyard for the space debris or the rovers who were sent by on the missions to discover the Mars surface. So that's why it's believed there is a rover graveyard. But this is a metaphor, of course. Mars continues to captivate scientists and space enthusiasts, of course. And it has some mysteries histories. And it's also one that it's enlighten our imagination. But lesser known facts highlight the complexity and rich history of Mars missions. And now we're gonna switch to something interesting. This chapter is about the lesser known facts about Mars missions. Mars climate or orbiter mission. This is the first one, Mars climate orbiter mission. In 1999, so in 1999, NASA Mars climate orbiter was lost due to a navigation error caused by the use of, attention, English units like feet, pounds and maybe seconds in a software module, while the spacecraft navigation team used metric system like meters, kilograms and seconds. This mismatched, in units led to orbiter approach being too low, resulting in its destruction. Well, that's kind of weird. They didn't think about that. Well, and it's interesting, right? Right. Well, this was the first controversial one. Now, the next one, it's life science controversy. Life science controversy. Well, the Viking 1 and Viking 2 missions in the 1970s conducted experiments to search for signs of life on Mars. The results were inconclusive, and there has been ongoing debate and controversy about whether the experiments detected life or not. So there are susceptibility that they were detected and they were not shown or public made. Right. The next fact, it's about Phoenix Lander trench digging. This is the title, Phoenix Lander trench digging. NASA's Phoenix Mars lander, which operated in the Martian polar region, dug a trench on the Martian surface. Well, actually in 2008 it discovered water ice just beneath the surface, confirming the presence of water in the polar regions. Good. So, below the surface there is ice. If there is ice, there is water. If there is water, sure, there will be also some life form. Good. Now let's return to the Mars rovers. Mars rovers. Mars rover longevity. NASA's Mars rovers Spirit and Opportunity were originally designed for 90-day missions, but operated for over 6 years. Well, that's a fact. Opportunity's mission lasted nearly 15 years, making it the longest living robot on another planet. Okay, so that which were originally designed for only a 90-day missions. They operated for one for 6 years and the second one for 15 years. My God. I wonder myself if they're still operational today. Good. Next. Beagle 2. Well, the UK Beagle 2 lander was lost for over a decade after its expected landing in 2003. In 2015, it was rediscovered on the Martian surface, partially deployed, confirming its landing, but not its successful operation. Well, interesting. That's around the Beagle 2. Right. The next fact is Schiaparelli's descent. In 2016, the European Space Agency Schiaparelli's lander crashed on Mars due to a parachute misfunction deployment and an issue with an rudder altimeter. Good. I wonder myself, or I ask myself, it's the Schiaparelli, it's the first and only mission that European Space Agency sent to Mars. Right. Next one, it's another one related to NASA. Mars Sample Return Mission. NASA and the European Space Agency, which is ESA, have plans for future attention. Mars Sample Returns. This ambition project aims to collect Martian soil and rock samples and return them to Earth for study. It will involve multiple types of spacecraft and collaboration between agencies. Well, good luck. Mars Sample Return. That must be noted and put in a frame. Just kidding. Good. Right. And now let's switch to the last page, which holds only 3 facts. No, 2 facts. CubeSats. No, it's CubeSats. Sorry, CubeSats on Mars. Okay, let's check out this one. That's the cost. Mars Cube 1 was the first interplanetary mission to use CubeSats or cube satellites as a communication relay. These tiny spacecraft were deployed to provide real-time data for relay for NASA InSight lander. Looks very sci-fi. Okay. another fact that sounds very science fictional. And now let's return to another fact that I was presented earlier, a few minutes ago. The Mars Sample Return Challenge. Like I said, they collaborating on making a network of spacecraft, let's say a network. This is hypothetical, to collect and return samples of Mars soil. The Mars Sample Return mission is incredibly challenging due to the need of multiple spacecraft types, precise landings, sample collection, and then the biggest challenge is to resend them back into orbit and then back to Earth. This involves a complex chain of mission, and it's expected to be a multi-year effort from NASA and the space agencies around the globe, especially the European one, ESA. So, well, it sounds very fascinating indeed, but I hope they will they will succeed in this effort, because it's fascinating. Everything that I heard about Mars is fascinating. Right, and that's why, because of these less known facts, I entitled this video The Crazy Mars. Of course, there is a metaphor. Good. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. And, of course, like always, until next time, which will be tomorrow, I wish you all the best, all the best, all the best, all the best.